This is Rock. We're going to learn about Excel geography. In the top left is what's known as the Quick Access toolbar. We're going to configure this so that it has the icons that we want. In the center, you have a search bar. Up in the top right, you have your login. This will minimize the window, maximize the window, close the window. Here at the top, this is what we refer to as tabs. These tabs give you access to different ribbons. The ribbons are collections of icons, some of them very useful, some of them occasionally useful. We're going to make a customized ribbon that has the most useful icons all in one place. The file ribbon is not actually a ribbon. It opens up this screen to give you access to things like the options and where to go for opening files you've opened in the past. You can also save the file or share the file. When you click on any tab, you'll see the different icons in what's called a ribbon. This is a ribbon, this gray area that has icons grouped into groups by name here. So this is the clipboard group in the home ribbon. This is the home tab. This is the insert tab. When I click on it, it opens the insert ribbon. And there's the tables group within the insert ribbon. Here's the illustrations group within the insert ribbon. So we've got tabs across the top. We've got icons inside the ribbon grouped in groups. The customized ribbon that we're going to make, we'll do that in the next video. The home ribbon has clipboard, font, alignment, number, formatting. So it's a lot about formatting. These styles, I use this conditional formatting, but not much else here. We've got different ways to insert cells or delete rows and cells. I don't use these icons for that. There are faster ways to do that with the right click. The insert ribbon has tables to insert illustrations, controls, inserting charts, inserting spark lines, different filters. I use these filters a lot. Insert text box, word art, and some other things here. The draw is good if you've got a tablet. I don't use it much. I do use select objects. The page layout is more for when you're printing from Excel, which may or may not be useful to you. Over here on the right, there are icons for managing the objects that you have in your screen. We'll go into some of the detail on this in further videos. Formulas allows you to insert functions. These icons are relatively unnecessary. I'll show you how I insert formulas. But this name manager is very useful, as are these formula auditing icons. Very helpful. Calculate options and calculate now is also helpful. Data, the ones I use most from here are filter, sort, remove duplicates, data validation, and under the what if scenarios, that goal seek is very helpful. Group and ungroup is also useful. Under the review tab, if you like using comments, this is a great place. These icons help you manage those comments. You can protect your sheet or protect the whole workbook. View, this gives you a different way to view. You can turn on and off the grid lines. You can hide the headings or show them. You can show the formula bar or not. If you take out a number of these things, it stops looking like Excel at all. Automate is a new way to do macros. It's a way where a well-trained Excel user can record what they do on the screen and then have the screen repeat that. Macros do that better, I think, but macros only work when you're using the desktop application versus the browser version of Excel. If you want to do automation in the browser version of Excel, you need to use Automate scripts, they're called, instead of macros. The Developer tab allows you to work with macros, which is a way to record what you've done and then repeat it, and then also do many more complex things using the Visual Basic Applications language, or VBA, behind the scenes in Excel. We'll get into some of that, but much later. So that's the layout of the ribbons here. This is what's called the name box. And the name box is very handy for giving a particular range a name. If I want to name this range, my range, I can click in the name box and then type my range. Then when I hit enter, Anytime I want to choose that range, I can come to the name box and select it, and it will select that range for me. It also is a way to get to different cells quickly. If I wanted to get to the cell Z1000, I could just type Z1000 here and hit enter, and that takes me to it. So it's a quick go-to. I'm going to hit Control Home to get back to where we were. So this name box gives you a way to name ranges, select ranges, and then go to different areas of your sheet. Notice this ellipses, and when I say ellipses, it's a 3-dot, but it's actually on its end here. This usually means that you can not scroll left or right, but move left or right some component of the screen. That's the same case down here where you see these 3 dots. You can drag that left or right to give you more or less space. This is the insert function area. We will use this instead of the formulas insert icons. I think this is useful for when you're first getting to know Excel, but once you've been using it a while, I never go to that to do an insert of a function. In fact, I don't even use this insert function very much. I just type the function. But this is helpful if you don't know what function you're looking for or you don't know how to spell it. Formula bar is where you type what you want to type in Excel. And if you just type and hit enter, there you go. I could also double click inside the cell as well. So you basically have 2 places you can type, but it's essentially the same thing. So this formula bar is a reflection of what you have selected below. It's where your text will be entered. When you select a cell, you can just start typing. You don't have to double click inside the cell or even click up in the formula bar. You can just start typing. You can make the formula bar bigger by clicking this caret over here. See how that can toggle between being large and small? But you can also select here and drag to make it larger. And then when you click this caret, it closes it there and opens it to that other selection that you made. So it's a toggle between what you have set as larger and the single line. This triangle in the corner allows you to select every cell on your sheet just by clicking there. Across the top you see we have columns here, and these columns go in alphabetical order. Once we get to Z, then it starts over at AA, and once you get to the end of AA, when you get to AZ, obviously it goes up to BA and then continues. If we go all the way across, the end column is XFD. When you get down to the bottom of Excel, the most rows you can have are 1,048,576. That's a lot of rows. Especially, it's a lot of cells when you multiply that times the number of columns you have. Down here, this is also called a tab. So it's a little confusing that these are the tabs for the ribbons, and then these are tabs as well. These tabs are for the worksheets. You can call them sheets, worksheets. It's easy to add another one by clicking this plus sign. Excel will automatically give your sheets a numbered sheet name. You can rename these sheets by right-clicking and then clicking rename. It will highlight it for you, and I can rename that. Now I can also click and drag and move this to the place that I want. I can click and drag and move any sheet that I want. Importantly, these sheets need to have unique names. You can't have multiples that have the same name. Once you have a lot of different sheets where suddenly you can't see all of your sheets, then these arrows become important for scrolling to the sheet that you want to select. This area with these 2 left and right navigation arrows also serves, if you right-click it, to show you all of the sheets that you have in your workbook. You can double-click on any one of these and it will activate that sheet. Down here we have a status bar, so right now it's saying ready to go. Over here on the right you have some page layout icons. You can see the normal layout, see the page layout, you can see the page break preview, and again that's for printing. Coming back to the normal, you'll see that this has these dotted lines. That is from the fact that it thinks that you want to print from this. So it has given you a preview of where your pages will be. If you don't want that, you need to come back to page layout. The only way I've found is to click on page setup and to fit to 1 page wide by 1 page tall and say OK. You'd think that going to print area, you could say clear print area, but it doesn't do that. Over here, we also have this zoom where using the mouse you can zoom in and out on your sheet. I don't tend to use that. I tend to use Control and then scroll. If you use Control Shift scroll, you can scroll to the right. Control scroll scrolls out. Scrolling down scrolls up and down. And then Control Shift scroll scrolls left and right. There you go. That's the basic geography of Excel. Next time we're going to look at Excel options.